episode of Child Friendly Chat Gaming. I'm your host, Michael Scott 41, and we have a good episode for you today. But we start off with a news story. That story is about the rise and fall of Matthew. As we've seen in the past recent weeks, in Valorant, Matthew has made a climb up the rankings board to number 1 spot 2 weeks in a row, and unfortunately he has now fallen from that spot, and if he doesn't get everything under control, he could continue to fall even lower than where he is now. This week started off promising with Matthew coming off his second straight week at number 1. This week started off with some solid games, some solid performances, but you know the age-old saying is you're only as strong as your weakest link, and the week started with Travis being Matt's weakest link, but it ended with Matt's PC being his weakest link, and unfortunately that is not a link that can hold the chain together at all. Your PC breaks, that eliminates you as a gamer, and unfortunately this happened early in the week, and so Matt has now fallen. I mean, if we look back throughout Matt's career in esports, we can see a roller coaster of highs and lows. Highs of making fantastic plays, lows of tilting everyone on the team and being cocky and dying 17 times. We've seen it all, and it's unfortunate that it has to end this way, but hopefully he can recover. Hopefully this is not the end, but we shall soon see. And so let's go ahead and jump into this week's Valorant rankings. Our new number 1, making it back up to the top, is Tim, followed by number 2, Mike, number 3, Matt, 4 is Jack, 5 is Josh, 6, Travis is climbing his way up slowly but surely, 7 is Joel, 8 is James, 9 is Keem, and cracking the board here again on Valorant is Dan, coming in at number 10. He hasn't really played much. I'm not even sure where he's been because he's kind of a ghost. He only comes around when he wants to, and it has to be extremely favorable conditions for him, and he just doesn't play much anymore. So he's lucky to make this board, but he might be off it next week. We never know. All right, now we're going to jump into our League of Legends rankings board. As you all know, there's not been a lot of action in the League of Legends board the past couple of weeks. I believe even last week it was just a single to Travis. He's the only one that ever plays, but this week we were actually able to get a squad together and play some games, have some fun, and with Nexus Blitz returning to the League client here soon, maybe League will start to make its resurgence. We don't know, it's only time will tell, but without further ado, let's jump into those League of Legends rankings boards. Number 1, still up there at the top, is Travis. Number 2 is Mike, 3 is Josh, 4 is Tim, 5 is Matt, 6 is James, 7 is Jack, 8 is Rachel, 9 is Joel, and Dan bringing up the rear at number 10 again. As you can see here, Mike is really starting to make a push for the top spot in both games. He's really stepped up his game in Valorant, and League of Legends, he's still a solid player there, and so excited to see his future in the child-friendly chat gaming world, and maybe even crack the number 1 spot here coming up, but we'll have to wait and see. And now for our child-friendly chat gaming fantasy update. We actually had an extremely close week in the majority of our games this week. James and Josh are in a close battle. James is in the lead, but Josh has a good chance to come back. Then we have Travis going against Mike. That's an extremely close game. Tim versus Rachel, another close game. And then the battle of the basement of the league, Matt and Dan, is extremely big blowout. Daniel's crushing Matt. Matt saw his success in other games, but Fantasy League is not his. He's in the basement. And not only is he in the basement of the league, it looks like he is actively digging, trying to go lower in the league. So maybe he'll get a win, probably not, especially if his top laner's still not on a starting roster. Maybe he'll change it, maybe he won't. We'll have to see, but excited to see how Sunday's games affect the outcome of the rest of those close matchups. And that is all we got this week for this week's episode of Child Friendly Chat Gaming. Thank you all for coming out. I know this was a kind of pretty straightforward episode, but I promise next week episode is going to be fire. It's going to be hot. It's going to be nice. It's going to be awesome. So make sure you check in for that one. But until then, keep gaming.